Okay, in this video I'm going to go more into detail about how I actually created the movements of the separate components either toward or away from each other, and then how I also created the camera angles and manipulated the camera angles for each one of the movements of the separate components. It's just a more detailed video. Okay, in the other video on animation, we went over how to bring it from the model space and have components and bring it over in animation, and then create camera view movements and component movements. Now we're going to actually show how we actually create the movement. So I've actually deleted my storyboard, so I'm going to start over from scratch. So the first thing I usually do is bring this over to the curtains, and I'm going to turn my views off so it's not recording the views. So first of all, I bring my product into view approximately where I'm going to want to actually show the components, where it's easy to pick each component and it's easy to see everything you want to move. So right now I'm just going to work on the actual movements of the components, and then we're going to do an explode, and then I'll go and add some animation in the camera movements later. So the first thing I want to do is I want to move all these days of the week off, and then I'm going to show them all going back together. So what I've got to do is select each component, and I have to right click, and then I'm going to go to up here, whoops, sorry, and I'm going to go manual explode. I never had much luck with the auto explode stuff because it didn't move in a sequence that I like. So I just get manual explode, and right here it tell you which way do I want to move it. Right now I'm just going to move these off of the pill body, and then I'm going to show them going back on. So for right now I'm going to click this arrow, and then you have to go, and once you click the arrow the direction we want, then you click this thing over here, and you basically roll it to about where you want to start. Okay, then you just hit the arrow. So I'm gonna move all these off um, um, into a position first. So we can go like that, and we are going to do this one off about the same position, and we click yes, and we're going to go manual explode, click that arrow, and we're going to roll this out. Let's see, approximately right there, and then we're going to hit arrow. I'm not going to do these for all of these. You get the idea. And right now, I can change my perspective and camera movements without having to worry about anything being recorded. Because right now I'm setting the start position for my explode. I like to show things going together, not so much coming apart. So I've got to pull that out, and you get the idea with the letters. I'm not going to do them all. But the other thing I wanted to do is the actual hinge wire. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to go to repeat manual explode, and I want it to go in this direction there. And oops, I want to start right about there. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so right now I've got where I want to start. Basically, I want to show these components going from the position that they're in into position, and now I created the starting spot. To do that, you have to have your curtains on so it's not recording any of these movements, and it's not. I have view off so it's not recording anytime I move the camera. It's not recording that. So now that I've got them at the position I want, now we can start recording these movements back into position. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, first of all, I got a position where I can see everything pretty good. And let's say I want that Monday, I want to take 1 second for Sunday to move from where it is to its home position. So I will click that, and I will hit repeat manual explode, and then I will hit, actually, let's do something else. Let's go let's go to restore to home, and it basically moves it back to its home position, just like that. Okay, so we're going to do this one, transform, restore home, this one, transform, restore home. Okay, so as you can see, every time I move one of these in the 1 second, it's going to move all 3 of those at the same time. So let's go back and move our playhead back to the beginning. And when I play this, all 3 are going to move at the same time. Boom. And it takes 1 second and all 3 of them move at the same time. But let's say I didn't want them to all move at the same time. Let's say I wanted to all move separately. So I could take this one, move it to here, take this one, move it to here. Now when I go back and I hit play again, Sunday goes in, Monday goes in, then Tuesday goes in. So those are the movements. Now let's say, oh, I forgot to put the wire in. So at the end, I want the wire to go in. So what I do is I hit the wire over here, and I hit, let's see, restore home, and it puts the wire in. But it put it in where I don't want it, so I'm just going to drag it at the end. So I want those three days to close, and then I want the wire to go in. So let's go back, play, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then the wire goes in at the end. And you can drag or move any of these around in the view that you want. Right now, we just have this one view because I haven't done any camera movements, which is fine. If you don't want any camera movements and getting complicated like that, you might want to just show something exploding and going back together. This may be what you want. But we're going to add some camera views to it just so you can see how that works. Okay, so there's our animation. Okay, so let's say, for instance, we want to go out to 1 second. And in that 1 second, I want to change the camera view from one view to the next. So let's say, let's go back to the curtains, and let's change our camera view. Let's go way back here. So what I want to do is zoom in as it's putting Sunday on. So what I do is I bring it up to where Sunday comes, where the end of where Sunday's going to open. Okay. Now I'm going to zoom in, and all I'm going to do is zoom it in. Now we got to hit record view. So I hit view. So now it's recording. And I forgot it's going to change my perspective. So I have got to change this first. Okay, so you'll see what it did there. It's going to look really funky, but I'll show you just that because I did it later. So that's the camera move that it did. But let's say I didn't want that. Let's say I want that. I don't want that. Delete. Let's say, let's go bring back the curtains again. And let's say I want it to start. Okay. Let's see where I want to start here. Kind of in that position, but I want to zoom it out. That's my starting position. And then I want to bring it to there. Okay, so now that I want to change my camera position, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. You'll see now when I move my camera, you'll see that this icon shows up now. Okay, so now when I go back and I hit play, it zooms in, just as that small camera movement. Now let's say, for instance, I want to do another camera movement right here at the end. I want it to like spin it a little bit at the end and maybe back out a little bit. So my camera's still recording. So anything I do right now with the playhead position, it's going to record where it is. So let's say I want to zoom out, and then I want to spin it a little bit. Let's say I want to drag it this way. Okay. So now it recorded that right there. So let's go back to the beginning. It's going to do that. And then change that camera view again and then put those in. But let's say I wanted this to happen over a longer period of time. I want this to happen as it's opening those last ones. So I can drag that camera view, go back to the beginning, hit play, and movement. So you can actually, add in camera movements in here or change them. After, what I like to do is put all my actual movements of my components first, and then go back in later on and do my camera views and change my camera views. I can delete them and add them and go from there. So we got all our components. Normally for this, I would have, a movement for each component. But let's say, for instance, let's do a movement here for Thursday. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oops, I didn't mean to record that. And I should have turned this off first. Now we'll watch what's going to happen now because I did that. It changed that last view. See, it changed it because I moved the playhead. So if I do it again, I move the playhead like this is going to change now. It's just going to shift over to the right. See, it just kind of moves a little bit. So every time, if you're in that position, and I change this camera view. Now you're going to see it spin now. Now it'll spin. Basically, it just takes it from where you left, where it started, and where it finished, and it changes it every time. Okay, so let's say, for instance, now let's go back. We're going to change our view again. We're going to flip it, quickly rotate it around. So I'm going to spin it around like this. That creates a quick camera view right there of a spin. Show you that. So it takes it from where it ended, spins it around, but does it really quick. Let's say I want to drag that one out a little bit, make it a little bit longer, spinning around. Okay, so let's play that. Now it spins around. Okay, but now I want to show you how we did what we did up to Tuesday. Let's do this so that the lid opens on Wednesday. So what we're going to do now, we got our playhead position here. This is where I want to create the Wednesday movement. So I select Wednesday, and then go to Transform, Manual Explode, and you can do all these different movements with your transform. And I don't want Manual Explode, I actually want Transform Component. And so with Transform Component, it lets you move the component around wherever you want. So what I want to do is here, normally Set Pivot's not on, but since I want this to pivot on this hinge right here, I click on Set Pivot, and then first of all, I'm going to turn my view off, so I don't want to record my camera views right now because I'm about to change the camera view. I'm going to set pivot, and the pivot that I want is this edge of this hinge right here. So I'm going to zoom in. So if I didn't turn off recording, it would be recording all these camera movements right now, which is really annoying. So I'm going to click the center of that hinge, and now I click OK. So now I can drag this, and I can move the hinge where I want it. Okay, so let's say, for instance, so over this 1 second I've got, or about 1 second, I want the hinge to open, let's say, let's see, this is 0 to, let's say, 115 degrees. Click OK. So that's this movement now. So if I move the playhead back, you'll see it opens that. So now it starts to play from the beginning. Rod goes in. But you see, the camera views aren't changing because I have it turned off right now. So if I turn on my camera views again, it'll go back and play it like it was before. So back to the beginning and hit play. And hit play. There we go. does all my camera movements, puts them in, spins it back around, and then Wednesday opens up nice and slowly. But let's say I want, while Wednesday's opening, I want to rotate it just a little bit. So I got my playhead where I want it. I'm on record, so I can record right now, and I'm going to change the view just slightly. So I'm going to orbit it right here, just so it makes that movement while Wednesday's opening. So let's see how that looks. There you go. And if I didn't like that view, I can just take that and I can delete it. So that basically it goes in this play, finishes there, and Wednesday just opens. Playing over again, and Wednesday opens, it just stays still. But let's say, for instance, I want this movement, I want a movement at the very end to zoom right into Wednesday. So what I'll do is, since I am recording right now, so I'll zoom right in on Wednesday, and I'm going to drag it right there. Let's see how that looks. So because these overlap, it's going to start the camera movement halfway while Wednesday's opening here. See, Wednesday is start open, and then I'm going to get the camera movement right at the end there. But let's say I want this camera movement to start right there, right? So let's go back here, play. And it zooms in. And that's it. That's pretty much all the different movements and stuff. Now, the other thing that you can add in here is you can add another storyboard. You can add another storyboard to ask if I want to start it clean or start from the previous where the one ended. Let's start from the end of the previous. And we're going to click OK. So we got this storyboard, and it starts here. So the first thing I would do is move that over and turn off my view recording. And then let's say, for instance, I want to just show Wednesday closing. So just so I could show you what another storyboard does, I could bring this out here. 1 second. Click on my component, transform, restore home, and then we'll show Wednesday close. So we'll go like this. Play. Wednesday closes. But let's say during that I want to have a little bit of camera movement. So I'm going to turn my view on. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. Let's say I just want to do it like I want to zoom in a little bit and then move it right there. So anyway, you get the idea of how to create camera movements and then create your component movements, and you can do it in different storyboards. So we got storyboard 1 that has all those components, and this storyboard that just has this. So you can actually publish just a single storyboard. Go to publish, you can publish just the current storyboard. Whoops. And when you hit publish, it allows you to pick several different types of video formats. I generally just use the highest quality video, and I click that storyboard and you hit OK. Ask you where you want to save it. You hit save. That's a short one, so it should save pretty quickly. Okay, but let's say I want to save both storyboards. So go to this, we go to publish, and I go all storyboards. Now this one's going to record both of those. No, I forgot to hit change the name of the container. 2. No, it takes a little while to save this because it's got both storyboards. It's got the storyboard 1 and the short little storyboard 4. and it saves it as an AVI file. I take these AVI files and sometimes I turn them into animated GIFs, or I just publish them in, in Adobe Premiere and add them to a project that I might be adding. And I will actually put these at the end of the video so you can see them. So let's go and look at that. Let's go to, let's see, there's Wednesday. Small movement Wednesday. Let's play that again. Boom. Very, very quick. This shows all the movements in storyboard 1. Points going together. Wednesday opening and then zooming in, closing. All together.